The idea of a vegetable garden in wooden containers begins to take shape, not only to make use of limited space but also to introduce a fresh, sustainable approach to home gardening. Old wooden crates, ranging from those once used to hold fruit at markets to discarded wine barrels, are gathered, arranged, and transformed into unique garden beds, where green vegetables, herbs, and even small fruit-bearing plants will grow, creating a landscape that is both practical and visually appealing. The vegetable garden in wooden containers is not just a solution for those lacking traditional planting space but also a symbol of creativity and recycling potential. The small backyard, though modest in size, is divided into logical zones to optimize light, water, and plant growth. The eastern corner, where morning sunlight is strongest, is reserved for sun-loving crops like tomatoes, bell peppers, and lettuce. The western side, where afternoon shade emerges, hosts wooden containers with kale, spinach, and herbs such as basil and mint. The central area, near the main pathway, is chosen for climbing plants like green beans or cucumbers, supported by simple trellises made from bamboo branches or recycled wood. Each wooden container, varying in size and wear, is arranged to form a harmonious layout, both convenient for maintenance and pleasing to the eye from every angle. The process starts with collecting wooden containers. Old crates from local markets, once used to transport apples, oranges, or potatoes, are brought in alongside a few oak wine barrels from nearby restaurants. Each container is thoroughly inspected to ensure it's free of termites or severe cracks. Lightly damaged ones are repaired by adding nails or replacing rotted slats. Drainage holes are drilled into the base of each container, sized just right to prevent waterlogging without letting soil escape. Containers too worn are lined with geotextile fabric to stabilize the soil inside. This preparation requires meticulous care, from hand-sawing rough edges to sanding surfaces to remove splinters, ensuring safety during use. Once ready, the wooden containers are lined up or stacked into tiers, forming a flexible, garden bed system that can be repositioned anytime to suit changing needs. Soil preparation comes next as a critical focus. A blend of fertile garden soil, nutrient-rich vermicompost, and lightweight coconut coir is mixed thoroughly to ensure looseness, water retention, and essential nutrients for the plants. Each wooden container is filled with this mixture, leaving enough depth for roots to grow without making the containers too heavy to move. A layer of dry grass mulch or rice husks is spread on top to retain moisture, suppress weed growth, and protect the soil from erosion during rainy days. Preparing the soil is not just a technical step but the foundation ensuring that plants in these wooden containers can thrive despite their confined space. Plant selection follows once the soil is ready. Cherry tomatoes, with their small, juicy red clusters, are sown in large wooden containers placed in the sunny eastern corner. Bell peppers, displaying shades of red, yellow, and green, are interspersed with tomatoes to add color variety and optimize space. Lettuce, with its soft, lush green leaves, is chosen for lower containers where it can spread out without needing much height. In the West, kale and spinach are planted in deeper wooden containers, taking advantage of afternoon shade to keep their leaves moist. Herbs like basil, mint, and parsley are grown in smaller containers near the pathway for easy harvesting during cooking. In the central area, green beans and cucumbers are sown next to bamboo trellises, with hopes they'll climb high and cover the overhead space with green, providing natural shade. A watering system is designed to suit the unique traits of this wooden container garden. A network of drip irrigation tubes is installed, connected to a large wooden water tank, itself repurposed from an old wine barrel, positioned in a corner of the yard. Small tubes with evenly spaced drainage holes are threaded through each container, ensuring every plant gets just enough water without waste. Powered by a small solar pump, the system saves energy and reduces manual watering effort. On rainy days, water is collected from the roof via gutters, flowing into the wooden tank for reuse, creating a sustainable water cycle within the garden. Natural light, though uncontrollable, is maximized by adjusting the container's positions. Those holding sun-needy plants like tomatoes and bell peppers are placed in open areas, unobstructed by the house or large trees. Containers with shade-tolerant crops like kale and herbs are positioned near the western wall or under the eaves, where afternoon light softens. Some smaller wooden containers are fitted with recycled cart wheels, allowing easy movement to follow the sun's path or clean the space beneath. This adaptability ensures the garden adjusts to each season, providing plants with the best conditions for growth. Maintaining the wooden container garden requires consistency and attention to detail. Every morning, water is pumped through the drip system, moistening the soil without flooding it. Organic fertilizers, such as vegetable peel infusions or vermicompost, are added bi-weekly to sustain soil nutrients. Weeds, though rare due to the mulch layer, are pulled out as soon as they sprout to avoid competition with crops. Rotten wooden slats, worn by prolonged moisture, are replaced periodically to keep the containers durable and attractive. Each task is performed with care to maintain the garden's health and productivity. The garden's landscape begins to shift within weeks. The first cherry tomato sprouts emerge from the soil in the eastern containers, tiny but vibrant, reaching for the morning sun. Bell peppers follow, their dark green leaves signaling robust growth and promising colorful fruits. Lettuce spreads wide in the low containers, forming lush green carpets ready for harvest in just a month. Kale and spinach rise steadily in the western containers, their tender leaves swaying in the breeze, bringing freshness to the space. Herbs release rich aromas, from basil's subtle spice to mint's cool freshness, wafting through the area with every gust. Green beans and cucumbers, though slower, start clinging to the bamboo trellises. Tiny tendrils wrap around the supports, pulling the plants upward, promising a shady green canopy in months ahead. Small, charming yellow flowers bloom on the green beans, attracting bees and butterflies for pollination, adding life to the garden. Cucumbers, with broad, prickly leaves, spread gradually, preparing to bear their first fruits dangling from the trellis, lending a sense of abundance to the rustic wooden setting. To boost aesthetics, the wooden containers are enhanced with natural touches. Some are repainted in pale white or green for a clean, modern look, while others retain their weathered oak brown patina, exuding rustic charm. A few are carved with leaf or flower patterns using a wood knife, highlighting the garden's playful creativity. Small cobblestones are scattered along the pathways between containers, easing movement while softening the wood's stark lines. Artificial lighting is added to extend the garden's beauty into the night. Small solar-powered LED lights are mounted on bamboo stakes or wooden slats along the paths, casting a gentle golden glow on the leaves and the first cherry tomato clusters. Water serves not just for irrigation but as part of the landscape. The large wooden tank in the corner is painted a soft blue, doubling as both the main reservoir and a rustic focal point. Nearby, a small fountain crafted from an old wooden container is installed at the garden center, water trickling gently onto a cobblestone tray, creating a soothing sound. This fountain not only enhances the space but attracts birds to drink, adding liveliness to the scene. Over time, the wooden container vegetable garden evolves into a small ecosystem. Cherry tomatoes yield fruit, their red clusters dangling from the plants, ready to be picked for meals. Bell peppers grow larger, shifting from green to yellow and red, bringing vibrant hues to the eastern corner. Lettuce and kale are harvested in batches, their tender leaves providing a steady supply of fresh produce. Herbs flourish thickly, offering daily trimmings without depletion, from basil leaves for salads to mint sprigs for cool drinks. Green beans bloom profusely, while cucumbers begin fruiting, their small green produce peeking through the foliage, creating a sense of bounty among the wooden containers. Birdsong fills the air each morning as they perch on the trellises or swoop to the fountain for a drink. The wooden container garden continues to grow through the seasons. As the first season ends, the soil in the containers is refreshed with organic compost and sawdust, prepping for the next planting. Carrots and radishes are sown in deeper containers, their roots lengthening underground, promising a plentiful fall harvest. Microgreens are grown in small containers for quick harvests, adding fresh food weekly. The container's versatility allows experimentation with various crops, from potatoes in large ones to strawberries in small hanging containers along the fence, utilizing both horizontal and vertical space. As the wooden container garden takes shape with lush vegetable beds at its core, the small backyard expands with new ideas to enhance both its beauty and practicality. The initial wooden containers, already teeming with cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, and lettuce, mark just the beginning of a broader plan. A deeper vision unfolds to transform the garden into a self-sustaining ecosystem where vegetables, fruit trees, pollinator flowers, and decorative elements blend, creating a space that produces food and offers respite amid urban life. More wooden containers are brought in to expand the planting area. Larger ones, once used to ship fruit at farmers' markets, are stacked into tiers, forming a unique vertical structure in the eastern corner. Reinforced with horizontal wooden braces for stability, they're filled with a mix of organic compost and soil. Potatoes are planted in the bottom tier, their deep roots making use of the ample space. The middle tier hosts carrots and white radishes, crops needing moderate depth. The top tier, bathed in sunlight, grows microgreens and lettuce, fast-growing plants easy to harvest. This tiered system not only saves space but adds height, showcasing crop diversity in a compact area. Alongside the large containers, smaller ones, former wine crates or craft boxes, are repurposed into hanging pots, affixed along the wooden fence encircling the yard. Strawberries, with their juicy red berries and lush leaves, are chosen for these pots. Their shallow roots make them ideal for this suspended style. As the first strawberries appear, hanging in midair, they provide both food and a striking visual accent. The hanging pots are painted in soft red and wood gold tones, contrasting cheerfully with the green leaves, turning the fence into a vibrant, living wall. To support plant growth, a more intricate trellis system is built. Beyond the simple bamboo frames for green beans and cucumbers, recycled pallet wood is assembled into archways at the garden center. Small pumpkins and gourds are sown at their bases, expected to climb and cover the arches with thick green leaves and plump, hanging fruits. Constructing the arches takes patience, from cutting pallets to size to securing them into the ground with wooden pegs. Once finished, these arches serve as both a growing space for climbers and a rustic artwork, evoking the feel of a green tunnel within the garden. The drip irrigation system is upgraded to meet the expanded garden's needs. Additional tubes extend from the main wooden tank to the tiered containers and hanging pots. A coarse filter of wooden mesh and cloth is added to remove debris from rainwater, preventing clogs. The solar pump is replaced with a stronger model, sufficient to water the entire area hands-free. For greater sustainability, a second wooden water tank, repurposed from another old container, is placed in the opposite corner, collecting runoff from a second roof gutter. Natural light remains key, but container placement is fine-tuned to avoid waste. Sun-loving containers with cherry tomatoes and bell peppers are shifted to the yard center, free of shadows from the house or trees. Kale and herb containers are moved closer to the western wall, leveraging the house's natural afternoon shade to cool them. Care for the garden requires a stricter schedule as the number of containers and crops grows. Watering occurs each morning, with amounts tailored to each plant's needs, more for tomatoes and pumpkins, less for microgreens and herbs. The wooden container garden grows richer as plants mature. Cherry tomatoes yield vivid red clusters, hanging heavily in the eastern containers, ready for fresh picking. Bell peppers ripen, shifting from green to yellow and red, forming a colorful band amid the rustic wood. Lettuce and lettuce thicken in low containers, their tender leaves primed for daily fresh meals. Strawberries in hanging pots ripen, their small fruits peeking through green leaves, catching the eye like red gems along the fence. Green beans cloak the bamboo trellises, their tiny yellow blossoms blooming vibrantly, while cucumbers produce their first long, green fruits, dangling as lively accents.